Hello friends, Mark Spade here. Hope this video finds you well. Hope that you are enjoying a warm pipe, a favorite blend, and a comfy chair. I myself am smoking out of this beautiful Savinelli of mine, and in it is Capstan Original Navy Cut. Capstan Blue. It's a bit blustery, and I'll check the audio on this afterwards. Hopefully, background noise and stuff doesn't matter. I'm out here having a smoke. I've had a morning, I've got a migraine, but you know what? I got something I just want to talk about, and that's really the purpose of this channel, is to have something to talk about. Now, why in the world am I outside? It's cold. I stunk up the house yesterday, right? I was smoking in the Haven, and somehow Capstan worked its way up into every corner of my house, and so I'm gonna get outside, trying to be respectful of the zen space that is my house, and not smoke everybody up anyway, because I'm nice like that, and I care like that, right? That's all. I'm not going to be a stick in the mud over it, because there's plenty of other things to be a stick in the mud about. There's plenty of other things, and I'm a regular guy, right? I've got normal views on stuff. I got my own personal way of doing life. I'm not some sage in one way or the other, and I don't judge other people as such either, right? We are neither saints nor sages. We're just people out here at the end of the day, right? And well, that's what this video is about, right? Black History Month is coming up, and I've often avoided this topic for the simple fact that it is so charged, right? I don't talk about this stuff with very many people. I normally, I joke about it. I joke about these kinds of things like skin color, because they just don't matter to me. They don't matter to me at all. And so I think stereotypes are hilarious. That's how I look at it. It's not a big deal, and that's what I teach my kids. Race is not a big deal. Race has never and will never stop me from doing anything, and that's what I teach my kids. And racism has never and will never stop me from doing anything. You see, because while there are principles in our lives to live out, right, like my faith, my Christianity, I live by that. That means the most to me in life that anything ever will. That is my top priority, is my relationship with God. And next is my relationship with my wife. Next is my relationship with my children. Next is my relationship with my community. This is the way in which I approach living. Race isn't in that, right? And so while those things are here to really strive for, right? Like that saints and sages, right? Like doing the very best you can at those things. That's what life is all about. And so anything that's going to stop me from doing that, well, that's a real problem. And what I mean is there is a tendency to say, oh, turn the other cheek, right? No, if I teach my kids to defend themselves. You don't let people just walk all over you, right? So I'm not a absolute pacifist, but I do think that the real purpose of living, if you look at all of these most important things, is love. Is love, and is experiencing the most important things in life with the people that you love. That's what's the most important thing. So again, race isn't going to stop me from doing anything, and it has never stopped me from doing anything, because it doesn't matter. And so for me to be able to rise above such things and model that for other people, because if we're being honest with ourselves, there's a lot of ignorant people who would say that race is still a big deal. Race is a reason for some form of division. Racism is reason for segregation of certain things and activities. Racism is still a reason to keep certain people out of doing different things, to hinder people from doing certain things. That's still a problem. It's a problem that I have actually dealt with in my life. not just from white people either. I've experienced it equally from black people, because if you haven't noticed, I'm somewhere in the middle, right? And so it's something that's experienced. It's not a one-way road. It's a freeway, man. It's an interstate. There's not just one way of doing. I got a nephew who is white, and he we had to talk about reverse racism. I'm like, that's not a thing, man. You can't be racism in reverse. It's not a one-way street. It goes all ways. And again, the fact that that's a problem is just silly. It's silly because race doesn't matter. And because it doesn't matter, when people make it matter, we've got to talk about it. We've got to actually refute that and open up ways for people to experience things together, to have real community, to show real love to people, right? We've got to be able to ignore all that. And so until we can just ignore all that, we've got to talk about it, because it's still a problem. So that's what this is all about, right? It's, Black History Month isn't something that I have really observed, because I didn't understand what it was for. I didn't understand the reason for observing it. It's to take some time in a country where we still have this big of a problem. It's to take some time to talk about it, to educate about it, to study that, so we can grow from it and move on to what's more important. In other words, we can dismiss the thing that isn't a big deal by making it kind of a big deal right now, because there's still people out there making a big deal about it. It's a circle. It's a circle. And until you see that circle for what it is and your place in it, right, nothing's really going to get done. And I, for one, don't want my kids growing up in the world that I grew up in, because I don't want to do that on any front. I want my kids to have better than what I had. That's the whole point of this whole deal, right? Like, it's the whole point of having children, is not just carrying on our race, not just carrying on our human race, but it's to give them better, right? You're supposed to be this conscious stepping stone into the future, right? Where you learn from the past and you are able to be taught in the present, so that way you can teach in the future. That's what it's all about. That's why you're here. That's your purpose, right? And so to live that purpose to the fullest, sometimes we got to get some unnecessary stuff out of the way. We have to actually deal with that, get that unnecessary stuff out of the way. You have to actually move it. Some stuff is just going to be there, right? It's like cleaning the house, right? The house is a mess. You can't just wish that it be clean, right? This isn't that Disney castle, what is that, Beauty and the Beast, where the all the silverware and stuff dances around the castle and washes itself. That ain't gonna happen for you, friend. You've actually got to do some work. You actually have to clean the house. If you don't clean your house, it's going to get nasty. Bad stuff's going to grow, right? Bad stuff's going to flourish. You're going to lose things, right? Because your house isn't in order. Your house is a mess. Clean your house. And one way that we as a nation, we as a people, we as human beings have to clean house is by actually picking stuff up and moving it ourselves, which in this case is having an intelligent conversation and actually observing what the problems are and speaking to them as to why they aren't right, as to why the house is a mess. Speak to it, deal with it, and clean it up. And that's what this month is about. This month isn't some political thing. People make it a political thing. It's not a daggone political thing. It's a people thing. And you deal with the people thing by cleaning it up. So, race is not a big deal to me, and it never will be a big deal to me. Because it shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter at all. And so racism isn't going to stop me from doing anything. And that's what I teach my kids. Refuse to let it be an obstacle. because it shouldn't be. And with that, I'm Mark Spade. Thanks for watching.